All right, you guys, that was an exciting reveal, wasn't it? We have the HCD14, the all-new Genesis concept car. And as you can see behind me, the media is swarming the vehicle. They're getting inside, they're taking a look at it, taking all the photos, and getting up close and personal. I'm so excited to see that we have had hundreds of questions and comments coming in throughout this broadcast, and we are going to be answering some of these questions for you right now, not only with me, but we're going to have some of the key players here that are going to answer those. If you have any comments or questions following up, continue to send those in to us. Remember, you'll see the text box to the right of your screen because you can feel the energy here at the North American International Auto Show. This is always the biggest event of the year, and we are so excited to be here. In just a moment, we will have several people joining us, and it'll be quite exciting. All right, we've got our very first guest, and I believe he's here. Is he here? All right. We are going to have Steve Shannon here joining us. He will be answering some questions for us. I think we should bring him on the screen. Steve Shannon, Vice President of Marketing, Hyundai Motor America. Good to see you again.
Happy New Year. Detroit. Isn't it great to be here?
It is so exciting to be here.
It's awesome.
Biggest crowds I think I've seen in a few years.
Huge crowds, record crowd, beautiful new displays by everybody, so it's a great way to kick off the year.
And can you tell me what the North American International Auto Show means for you guys? Because we know that auto shows are really important to your strategy.
Yeah. There's so much special about Detroit. A, it kicks off the year, right? So we're here in January. Nothing like getting the year off to a good start. B, the greatest number of journalists from media around the world come here. So if you want to make big news and you have a big story to tell, like we did today, there's no place better to do it than here in Detroit.
And the premium initiative with Hyundai is huge. What does that mean for marketing?
You know, it's just so exciting. I mean, as John talked about, the success story we have had with Genesis and Equus that have been in the market now 2 or 3 and 4 years, year-over-year increases, great customer demographics, an incredible sort of a leading, guiding light show car like this. We've got a lot of hard work to do today to keep these cars going great like they are now and pave the way for even more beautiful ones to come.
Yeah, and John talked about the fact that, Hyundai's known as a value brand, but he wants to make it a valuable brand.
Yeah, you know what? These people I love to do market research with Genesis and Equus customers because what's interesting, even though we're a very rational choice, great products, great value, people just love these cars. There's an incredible emotion and passion, and people feel so good about having one of these in their driveway. And to promote cars like that and to sell more cars like that is just really exciting for the whole brand.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about some of the numbers. I mean, the residual value and the market share, those are pretty impressive for where Hyundai's come from.
They really are. It's you go down the list of low incentives, low fleet business, great residual value, which means it's worth more in the future. And this is against Mercedes, BMW, Lexus, Audi. These guys have been in business, in some cases, more than 100 years. And here we are 3 years into the luxury business, and we're putting up numbers like that. So we all have a lot to be proud of, but we all have a lot to stretch to keep that record going.
Well, we look forward to seeing all the growth. Steve, thank you so much for joining us. So exciting, you bet.
Great.
Thank you. Okay, we got the inside scoop from Steve Shannon, but hey, take a look at this. We have got Chris Chapman. So excited to have you, Chris. You are the chief designer at Hyundai Design Center, and I think people really have a lot of questions for you. Where was the inspiration for a design like this?
Wow. Well, it's this idea of something beautifully dangerous is what we were kind of keying in on with the design team. We wanted it something that had a lot of intrigue, and we wanted to really kind of have an attitude where the car had a bit of that feeling like it was like you didn't know if you were going to approach it and it was going to be too dangerous to touch or not, right? So like a cat with its ears pinned back, it was sort of the thing we were talking about for the longest time. So the whole inspiration surrounding that. Of course, we have our fluidic precision design sculpting philosophy that's sort of applied here, but we're really stretching the panels out, and we're really trying to let the sheet metal not be mucked up with a lot of details and light catches and things. We just wanted to let it breathe and live and just really enjoy the sheet metal undisturbed.
All right, well, we're having questions come in from the viewers, and so we're going to ask this are you ready for this?
Oh, I don't know. We'll see.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
We've got Robert Johnston, and he has a question. First of all, can you give me the Equus?
If they give me one, I'll give him one.
It's a deal, all right? Robert, you heard that on camera. And second, what are the inspirations for the HCD14's design cues?
Well, simplicity, defying, daring. We're trying to find our own brand values and incorporate them into our own identity, so we don't want to have sort of copycat design cues. So we talk philosophically quite often about where we're going and what our separate and individual and ownable things, really ownable things that we can stand for. So we try to seek out design signature elements that can be applied only to us, and that if anyone else were to try them, that they would say, well, they're copying Hyundai. So that's a really difficult task, but we're working on that all day long, every single day, to try to give ourselves our own identity. But really, the key to it all is staying true to yourself, and it's really important that you have a sense of knowledge of who you are, where you came from, and then stick with that. Because when you don't stick with it, you bounce around a lot, and then you become the flavor of the week.
And then you hear it from the consumers, too. That's the other thing. One thing I have a question about in terms of the interior, tons of technology, but done in sort of a multi-level strategy, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. It has a multi-pronged approach. Essentially, what we're trying to do is prioritize safety. That's the grander goal here. So with all of the screens that you see around there, don't be confused. What we're really trying to get after is distracted driving, and that's a really serious thing, and you got to be passionate about that. So when somebody says safety to you, it's kind of like the thing like, yeah, okay, eyes on the road, hands on the wheel, everybody kind of says that, but I think you really have to take it to the next level if you're really going to make some changes and do something different. It's 6 to 8 times more dangerous to text than it is to DUI, to drunk driving, right? And this is a really scary thing. So what we're attempting to do is, like I said in the speech there, is, we all have different sensory perceptions. You have eyes, ears, mouth, like that. Well, why can't we use some of those things in combination, in concert together, and choreograph an interaction with the car that really feels natural, and you don't even have to think about it so much, so that you can really focus on driving, right? And that's what we really want to do. And before we nail that, and before we really get that down, we're going to continue to have the courage to say no until it's just right.
Yeah, no more distracted driving. That's for all of us.
Yeah, and that's what we really wanted to kind of show here and really share with the world.
That's really important. Thanks for sharing that. And we've got one more question hot off the presses for you. From Steve. He is a Hyundai dealership staff member, so he's a question on sales support. You ready?
In California, or?
I don't have, let's see, it's a Mac Grubbs Hyundai, so here we go. Will this be a production car, and when is the soonest it will be in production? I knew we were going to have this question.
Yeah, we were going to have this question. No, what we're looking at here is really a vision. We're really looking at a spirit that we're trying to, share with the world of how we feel, where we could imagine the next lineup of premium cars for Hyundai to go. So this isn't a literal translation of the next production car for the Genesis sedan. This is really an infusion of how we're feeling at the moment about the brand, and then trying to elevate it and elevate it into this premium kind of lineup. So it's really just kind of a vision at the moment.
Well, we're looking forward to more. So thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. Happy New Year.
All right. Happy New Year to you, too.
All right.
All right. Now we also have Mike O'Brien joining us. He's Vice President of Corporate Planning and Strategy. Mike, good to see you.
Good to see you. How are you today?
I'm great. Now, you thought you weren't going to be on camera, and look at that. We got you.
It's very fortunate that I get a chance to be with you on camera today, so hopefully I can answer a few questions.
Well, I appreciate that, because we have so many questions coming in from all of the viewers, everyone from sales staff as well as Hyundai owners themselves. So let's go with our very first question. This is from Ming Kwang Choi, a Hyundai owner. What is the new technology that is applied to this car? And we're referencing the Genesis.
Ming Wan, that's a very good question. So we just introduced this year what we call DIS audio. And the DIS audio allows multiple ways to control the audio system, which is really designed to reduce driver distraction and give you more flexibility. So it allows you to control with a rotating knob basic functions of the audio, HVAC, and other systems in the car. And it's surrounded by push buttons where you know their locations and territory, so it makes it very easy to instinctively operate most of the systems in the car without taking your eyes off the road. So that's a big change for this year for Genesis sedan.
And the consumers are always demanding more in terms of technology. All right, Thomas Hummel, he is also a Hyundai owner. Will the next Genesis have an available V8 without getting the R spec?
Yes. So the next Genesis, and this one right here, you'll be able to get the V8 without R spec. So that is true.
He's probably going to be happy with that answer then. All right, we've got more. Here we go. Jason Smith, also a Hyundai owner. I love hearing from all of the owners, because this is great, because this is, you're getting the response from all of the corporate executives here today. Will Hyundai ever make an all-wheel drive Veloster?
That's a good question, Nathan. Certainly it's something we've been looking at, but keep in mind the key component of Veloster's success has been its affordability and its front drive all-weather performance. So certainly it's something we've been thinking about, but we have to keep in mind what's the best way to make it a very affordable product so our customers, regardless of their income range, can afford this car and easily bring it into their household. So it's something we're looking at, but I think the key for us is how to keep it affordable. I think that's a paramount thing for us right now.
All right, let's get this next question. Here we go. Tom Garcia, also a Hyundai owner, is the performance staying the same, and will it be all-wheel drive? All-wheel drive is a plus for people that live in snow and ice conditions. People really want all-wheel drive, and this is for the Genesis he's talking about.
That's a big issue for us as well. So as you can imagine, there's a number of cars in the luxury area of the market where all-wheel drive is very commonplace, especially with the rear drive cars. So it's something that's a number one priority for us. So I'd say just keep watching. It's something that we're very interested in, and we're doing a very good job of trying to study that and do it the right way.
How helpful is it having, consumer comments like this and questions in terms of corporate planning, especially when you're looking, 3, 5, 10 years out for all of your products?
Well, there's no doubt, we could buy research where people fill out surveys, whether it's online or a paper survey, through the mail. But in the end of the day, the best things that we get in terms of help is from our customers directly. So through our think tank, through our own interviewing process, through research where we do face-to-face interviews with our customers, that's where we get the real hearty, meaty information. It's the kinds of things that really help us think about what customers are really thinking about, not just please give me a feature or please give me something bigger or smaller, but instead what's the underlying issue. So a kind of research called ladder research, where you try and dig in and find out what is the real issue with a customer, what's causing them to want this or want that or want some change. And by fundamentally understanding what's interesting to the customer, then we can think about what's next and apply technology appropriately.
And I know that consumers may not realize this, but giving feedback at the auto show to the product specialist also gets to you on the corporate side as well, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So we collect all of those comments here at the auto show. We collect them through our think tank. We collect it through all of the face-to-face interviewing we do with our customers. And we most importantly collect it from our dealerships, who collect all the comments from customers that come into their stores. So we look at that information as well.
Mike, we've got a lot of questions for you. Here's another one. You ready for another one?
Let's give it a try.
Okay. John Webb, he's a Hyundai owner. How would you rate this vehicle's applied technology against competitive makes?
Now, are we talking about the HCD14?
Well, let's talk about the HCD14. Let's do that, because I think that's some interesting.
We'll talk about that. So, John, I think the most important thing to keep in mind with HCD14 is that at the CES show just last week, we introduced the idea of a gesture-based control system. So remember, the number one way to keep the driver distraction to a minimum is hands on the wheel, eyes on the road. So this gesturing system that we launched last week at the CES show is a two-dimensional gesture, allows you to select and control things like HVAC or audio, for example. But here in the HCD14, we've taken a gigantic step further, and we've added eye control. So meaning just by the movement of the eye, we can determine what is the customer interested in controlling, and then through a three-dimensional gesturing, actually select the control feature that they're looking for. So simply speaking, the eye determines what you want to control just by looking at it, and then the 3D gesturing on the steering wheel allows you to control it like volume, doing this kind of a gesture, or fan up by doing this. So it's very simple things that become intuitive. They are intuitive, and it becomes a way to translate simple day-to-day communication with your friends and family into vehicle control.
A lot of exciting things coming your way. And, I'm so glad that we had you here, because I know a lot of Hyundai owners had so many questions. So, Mike, so appreciative of your time. Good to see you, too.
Thanks.